If your child gets a strong elementary school education, it really doesn't matter what school they go to next after that. Of course, they need to go to a good school, but they will be able to succeed at every other level because their foundation for reading and math is one that they are able to just continually build. They've learned how to synthesize and comprehend, and they've learned how to learn. So once the child has learned how to learn, which is a skill, an additional skill that is obtained in elementary school, the child is going to take that skill of learning how to, of knowing how to learn along with them through all of the other grades. On the flip side, when you see a lot of children that are having issues, behavior issues in school, that act out, they're always getting put out of the class, they're disruptive. A lot of times, those are the kids that don't have the skills that they need to succeed in that class. And in order for them to avoid being found out, or to avoid their feelings of inadequacy, feeling like I can't do this, I'm just disgusted, they act out. A lot of the behavior issues that you experience in classrooms is because the child is probably acting out because they're having problems with the reading and the writing and the math. The beginning of kindergarten is a great milestone in not only the child's life, but the parents as well. The kids are going to go to school. They're going to learn to read, write, and hopefully write in cursive. However, there is one fact that I think we neglect as this day approaches. This milestone is the beginning of the rest of their lives. And I mean that literally. If we don't understand the significance of this event, we could be setting our kids up for failure before they even begin. Think about the construction of a house. The first thing that is done is the laying of the foundation. The foundation is the most important element of building a house because all of the weight, the structure, everything that is going to go in the house, including the house itself, is going to rest on that foundation. And that foundation needs to be strong enough in order to support it. If the foundation is weak, it will not support the house properly. And everything we build on top of it will not be supported. And down the line, we will pay significantly. Elementary school works in the same way. It is the foundation of your child's education. And if that foundation is strong, you could build algebra, calculus, project lead the way courses, STEM classes, and all type of knowledge upon it. If the foundation is weak, we will pay the cost of failing, staying behind, behavior issues, underachievement, and a false start. Before we get into this content, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you. The first thing that we are going to take into account is what school are they going to? Now, some people don't think that this has any significance. It really does. We do not have the ability to initially choose which school our children will go to. 9 times out of 10, you're going to go to a school that is going to be in your neighborhood zone, from your district, based upon your zip code, based upon your area, or however it is that your district may decide to divide up the schools. It is important to note that if your child's school is falling behind and they have a low grade, your child will more than likely fall behind as well and suffer from low grades. As a taxpayer, you have the right to choose which school your child goes to. There may be a requirement that your child may have to go to their particular school for a set amount of time before they could transfer to another school. And if this is the case, know what the system is so that when that time comes, you can do whatever you need to do, complete the steps so that your child can go to that school that has a better grade and will offer your child a better opportunity to complete elementary school in a satisfactory manner. The second thing that we need to be aware of are the pre-assessments and end of the year testing that students will be given. Even though it may be kindergarten and you may not think that it is that significant, your child will constantly undergo assessments at the beginning of the year, in the middle of the year, and at the end of the year. These assessments may not be made a big deal like the EOG is. However, it is important in determining where your child is going to be placed in their elementary years. The tests that they are given at the end of the year will measure their growth. Typically, there is a benchmark, meaning a certain point where the child is expected to be by the end of the year. If you are monitoring what your child is doing all year, taking note of their report cards, communicating effectively with the teachers, you will have an idea where your child is in terms of meeting this goal. It is important that your child meets these benchmarks by the end of the year so that they are prepared for the next grade level that they are going to. If you notice at the beginning of the year when your child takes their first assessment that they may be having some issues and that they may be falling behind, it is important that you immediately seek out ways and methods that you can try to get your child caught up and stayed up on top of their education. The third thing that you need to stay on top of is knowing your child's teacher. Meeting your child's teacher at open house is not enough. That teacher is going to be meeting so many parents and shaking so many hands and learning so many things about kids that they have yet to interact with. They are not going to remember you after open house. That's why after the school year has begun and you're about 2 weeks into the year, send the teacher an email so that you can reintroduce yourself and you have the ability to start building some type of rapport with this teacher. You will start to get an idea of how this teacher works and what type of rules and what type of classroom management this teacher has and what type of expectations, if any at all, they have for their students. You will know this by the responses that you get to your messages. Are they responding to you in a timely manner? Are they willing to provide information with you? Are they open and being honest with you about what they see in your child? These are all of the type of benefits that you can get from building a relationship with your student's teacher. Always email the teacher. You may not have the opportunity to walk up into the school and have an appointment to talk to the teacher, but send the email to the teacher when you have questions about different things and different situations that are taking place within the classroom. Most importantly, you want to make sure that the teacher knows that you are there and you care. Teachers talk, the word spreads. If you set this foundation for your child, each one of the teachers that have your child after this point will know that you are a parent that is involved and that you will be there when called, and they will have a different type of method perhaps of how they deal with your child. Even though you should be involved in your child's education and know who your child's teacher is, you should not, which is point number 4, be a helicopter parent. A helicopter parent is a term that some educators use that describes parents that hover. They do not go away. They have something to say about everything. They nag. No matter what you do, they're always complaining. They are a pain. They take the joy out of working with your child. Do not be a helicopter parent. There is a difference in being involved and hovering. Step back and allow the teacher to do their job, but at the same time, know and understand what it is that the teacher is doing. And if there is a question, step in, ask it, step back out, and allow the teacher to do their job. Don't nag. The fifth point that I would like for you all to know and understand is that separation begins in elementary school. And when I say separation, I am talking about separating the kids based upon their academic levels and what is their perceived level of ability. Teachers are constantly, as I told you before, they are constantly evaluating where your child is, what they know, what they learn, how fast they learn, their ability to process information, and all of these different things. In kindergarten, first, second grade, it may be a little more subtle. However, the one thing that takes place in all elementary schools is groups. And groups is where you have to be aware of where the separation is taking place. When these kids are placed in groups, they are going to be placed in groups based upon their academic level. So some kids are going to be placed in the advanced group, and some kids are going to be placed in the group where more help is needed. This begins the process of your child being placed and separated based upon their academic ability. And as you know, is in middle school, we start to get into the honors classes, and then that's a further separation. There may be a team of teachers in elementary school. Kids may swap between 2 or 3 teachers, and this teacher may teach them science and math, and this teacher may teach language arts and social studies. The kids are going to be switching courses based upon their academic ability, or what is their perceived academic ability. So you need to be on alert for that. The sixth point that I want to talk about is EOG time, 3rd grade. 3rd grade, out of all of the grades in their elementary careers, 3rd grade is the most important year. 3rd grade is when the students actually start to get grades. They move away from the letters for grades. You know, you get the report card and it's got an E or S or U or N. In 3rd grade, the students actually start to get grades on the A through F scale. This is also the time when the students will take their EOGs at the end of the year. If you have been sleeping from grades kindergarten up until now, you are probably going to be in for a rude awakening. This year, your child will definitely, if no other year, your child will definitely be separated by their ability by this year. Those students are either going to be placed in a faster moving class or a regular moving class, period, end of story. No ifs, ands, buts about it. It's going to happen. Teachers get evaluated on their EOG scores at the end of the year when they get their evaluations done. If teachers have a classroom full of students that have failed their EOGs, I promise you that is not going to be a good evaluation for that teacher. And teachers can ultimately lose their jobs behind these scores. So I can just about guarantee you that these teachers are very serious. No teacher is going to be playing about their grades, their students, and getting their work done at this grade level. So when the teacher reaches out to you and they say that Jimmy Joe is doing this and Jimmy Joe is doing that, you need to act upon it, and you need to act upon it quick. Okay, because Jimmy Joe will be put in the group of kids that need a little bit more attention if needed, because that teacher is not going to sit back and allow her whole class to fail because Jimmy Joe is not doing what he's supposed to do and Jessica is holding up the whole class. It's time to go. 3rd grade, it's time to go. Nobody is playing 3rd grade, and neither should you. You should be trying to make sure that your child is getting all that they need, because as I previously stated, this is their foundation, and it is going to determine where they end up on that spectrum and where they're going to end up all through high school, and hopefully eventually into going to college. You need to take 3rd grade very serious. if you have not taken any of the others before. But I strongly encourage you to be on top of things, starting with kindergarten. Number 7, talk to your child. Of course, when your child comes home from school, you want to know, of course, who did you eat lunch with? What did you do today? Things of that nature. But you also need to be talking to your child about things that's taking place in their class. And this is how you can find out what type of group they're placed in and things of that nature. You're asking them questions so that you can get an idea of what's going on in the class and where your child is and how your child is progressing in his class. With these things in mind, we are going to make sure that our children are going to start their kindergarten, elementary school careers off to a great start. We as parents are going to be on top of everything. We're going to be on top of their grades. We're going to be on top of their progress. We're going to make sure that the teacher is doing their job, but we're not going to be helicopter parents. And we're going to make sure that we are setting our kids up with the strongest possible foundation ever. Thank you for watching.